Hello everybody, John12 back here again with another video, and I'm here to give you another Dragon Ball Super review. I'm here to review Dragon Ball Super Episode 18. Now, of course, if you haven't seen this episode, please go check it out, because this review may contain spoilers. But that being said, let's get into Dragon Ball Super. Now, with this episode, we have come to the conclusion that we are officially in the Resurrection F story arc. Now, based off a lot of things, there were a lot of, kind of inappropriate or appropriate kind of ways you can go with it. It was either going to go the way of the manga, where it was going to rewrite things or skip certain things, or we were just going to go right directly into redoing the movie. Now, thankfully, this episode is just another one of those kind of filler episodes, to the point of that it's still taking place in between Battle of Gods and Resurrection F. However, it still sets up the Resurrection F storyline, which is kind of sad. However, I do have to admit, this episode was pretty amazing. I personally loved the crap out of this episode. I really dug it. It's basically, obviously, after the events of last week's episode, Goku has weaseled his way into Beerus' world, seeking special training from Whis. And unfortunately, he kind of doesn't get the full extent of what he really wanted. Unfortunately, for the main stay that Goku and Vegeta are in Beerus' world, they have to be very... They just have to do chores. That's kind of the extent of what they have to do. They're doing chores. They're cleaning up the planet. They're freaking cutting grass. They're making sure that Beerus has the most perfect sleep that he ever has, freaking pampering his bed, making sure his pillow's on, always on top, just doing a whole bunch of catering to Beerus while he's asleep. And I thought that was kind of hysterical. It's almost like a very nice throwback to, like, the old Dragon Ball style of training, when you had, like, Krillin and Goku doing, like, very unmeaningful things when they were training under Master Roshi and stuff. So I like that. Of course, it's not to the full extent. It's a little different here and there, because Whis is obviously a god, and he can pretty much do anything he wants. So he's basically just making Goku and Vegeta his little, freaking wash buddies or something. It's just very odd, but very hysterical. I really like that. Usually, the comedy for Goku and Vegeta, when they're doing out-of-character things, can be a little too much, I will admit. A lot of fans have pointed that out, that it's very uncharacteristic how Goku and Vegeta have been acting when it comes to these filler episodes for Dragon Ball Super. However, I've grown to like it, and for this episode it worked. I thought it was very hysterical. I mean, Vegeta and Goku wearing aprons, just like, freaking Vegeta, like, trying so hard to make sure that Beerus is having a nice sleep, and Goku just, screwing everything up. I thought that was just hilarious. It was hysterical. And, of course, we get to the legitimate training with Whis. And the training is pretty awesome. I like the training that Goku and Vegeta do under Whis. And it was really nice to get that, because this is legitimately the first time we're ever witnessing Goku and Vegeta doing a lot of things together. Usually they do a lot of things separately. The only time they actually interact with one another is when they're fighting against one another, or fighting side by side with one another. But this is the first time that they're doing several things, which is A, train together by the same master, and B, live together, which is very odd and hilarious. I mean, that moment when it was like training was done and freaking Goku passes out on the bed, and Vegeta just feels ashamed that he has to, like, share the same room with him and stuff, and he moves the bed. I thought that was hilarious. I mean, like, if you were a fan of Dragon Ball Z and you always thought what it would be like if Goku and Vegeta were roommates, this episode caters to you. It's freaking hilarious. I just love the moments with Goku and Vegeta just trying to outdo one another when it comes to their training or to their chores. I liked Whis just fucking around, and that moment where freaking Goku instant transmissions, like, one of Beerus' alarm clocks, and, like, explodes in Whis' face, was hilarious. This episode just had non-stop hilarious moments, and a lot of very intense moments, and a lot of just very interesting, fun moments. It was just a great little episode, and at the end of the day, if I had to be nitpicky and like freaking find something I didn't like about this episode, the only thing I can really point out is it was way too short. This episode definitely needed to be longer because every single time something happened, and the second you got closer to that end point of the episode, you just dread. It would just felt like dread. You just wanted to continue. You don't want it to stop. You want it to continue. This episode needed to be longer. I wanted to see more. I needed more. It was just so fun. It was entertaining. It was just a lot of fun. And that's the great thing about this episode, and that's what I wish Dragon Ball Super was all the time. And it was very high quality, the animation was great, it was on point, the artwork was definitely on point. Granted, sometimes it's a little fudgy here and there, but overall it was very, very pristine to a certain extent. And freaking, this is Goku and Vegeta together. A whole episode dedicated to those two characters. I mean, like I said it before, the best episodes of Dragon Ball Super are Vegeta episodes. I've been very, very adamant about that, and it's very true. In my personal subjective opinion, the best episodes are the Vegeta episodes. And when you throw in Goku in there, who is my personal favorite character of all time, it just is an A+ episode. So at the end of the day, I have to give this episode, when it comes to my final verdict, has to be a 9.5 out of 10. It would have been a solid 10 if this episode was a lot longer and we got to see more training from Goku and Vegeta, because their training didn't last very long, because after that it felt like they wanted to recreate Resurrection F like right at the end of the episode. It was just like, they almost like recreated what they did in the movies. So it's like, okay, so how is it possible that Goku and Vegeta become Super Saiyan Blues if they had like 5 minutes of like a day of training and that's it? So I don't know. We'll have to wait and see. Hopefully, we get to see that kind of transformation happen, because the worst thing that could happen, and I feel like it could happen, which I think is sad, that they might skip how Goku and Vegeta become Super Saiyan Blues. So hopefully on the show they actually show the transformations, because it's one of the things that we're missing from Resurrection F that we're getting in Super, which is we get to see Goku and Vegeta's training, legitimate training under Whis, which is nice. We only got a glimpse of that in the movie, and of course this episode was dedicated to that, so I love that, which is one of the main reasons as to why I love this episode. But the other thing that I'm really interested in seeing is how do they become Super Saiyan Blues. I hope it's not skipped. I hope it's not erased. I hope it's not like one of those things where it's like next time on Dragon Ball Super, and then like, in the middle of training they just like, screw this, I'm transforming, and bam, becomes Super Saiyan Blue, kind of like how they did in the mangas, and kind of similar how they did in the movie. So hopefully when it comes to Super, in between these filler episodes and when like Frieza actually comes back to life, unfortunately, hopefully we can see how Goku and Vegeta actually become Super Saiyan Blues. I just hope it's not skipped. But that being said, overall this episode is awesome. The final verdict is a 9.5 out of me. But that being said, it's just a fun, entertaining episode. I wish Dragon Ball Super was like this all the time. It was so awesome. The music was great. The action was interesting. The world of Beerus is so godforsaken, like, phenomenal looking. It's just like you want to explore, and those moments when Goku is actually like looking around and exploring, it's so fun. And like him like fudging up everything, and Vegeta getting all pissed off and like trying to please Beerus, and them trying to one up one another, and freaking Vegeta continuously like training when Goku's not around just so he's better than him and stuff. It was just so good. This episode was so freaking good. It was a good, great, badass, fun, entertaining, hilarious, comedic episode. That's what this show should be all about. And of course, this is the episode that I guess this series kind of should have started on. I mean, granted, next week is a whole nother story, but this is kind of like the episode that Super should have been doing all along, which is just, showing us the stuff that we never really got to see with the movies, like the in-between episodes. That's kind of like what Super should have started off on. But that being said, final verdict is 9.5. Now when it comes to the teaser for next week, unfortunately, it seems like our nightmares are freaking doubts or freaking speculations and predictions are true. Apparently, Super will be recreating freaking Dragon Ball Z Resurrection F, which I'm fully unsupportive of. I'm not a big fan of that. I mean, like, granted, I understand why they have to do it, because they did the same thing with Battle of Gods. They recreated that. Unfortunately, I just feel it's unnecessary to do Resurrection F. I was hoping that they would do what the manga did, was just skip that stuff and just go directly into the new saga. So I was hoping they would do that, and they kind of almost got there because of the big over-the-top ending of this episode, because granted, they kind of rushed the Resurrection F stuff at the end. However, after the whole Goku, Vegeta, and Whis stuff, we get directly into Champa and Vados. Yes, the final, well, not the final, but the first actual appearance on Dragon Ball Super, the anime. We get to see Vados and Champa, and they just destroy a planet, and they fuck over, you know, those other fucking assholes who I don't care about that much, and then they just leave. They just leave. They get the fuck out of there. We don't know what the heck's going down. And, well, we actually do, because we've seen the manga, unfortunately. However, in the context of the anime, we don't know what the fuck's gonna happen. And, unfortunately, that's where we get set up with going back down the well to Resurrection F. So, yeah, there you go. Unfortunately, it's a sad fact, but it's a true fact. That's all I can really say about that. Next week is an episode I'm fully unsupportive of, and I really kind of don't want to see. I actually just want to, like, go into a coma and just wake up when the Resurrection F saga is kind of done. That's kind of like what I want to do. Let me know what you personally think. However, I will say this. Seeing Champa and Vados for the first time, awesome. And the second thing I have to say, if there's one thing I'm definitely looking forward to in this Resurrection F story arc, that of course is going to be recreated for the anime, which freaking sucks. However, I will say this. There is one thing I am looking forward to in between this. Jaco. Yes, the return of Jaco, his first appearance in the anime. I freaking can't wait to see that. And that's definitely happening. He is showing up in, I want to say in the next following episodes. I know he's probably not coming next week, but it's very possible that the episode after that, maybe like episode 20 or something, 21 or something around there, Jaco will be appearing on the show. So I'm definitely looking forward to that, because if you watched or listened to my Dragon Ball Resurrection F movie review, you would know that I'm a gigantic fan of Jaco. He was the best part of that, well, one of the best parts of that movie. He was hilarious and awesome, and the fact that finally bringing him to the show, I say kudos, fucking great. So, not looking forward to Resurrection F saga. However, I am looking forward to Jaco. But that being said, comment below. Let me know what you personally think about this episode. What did you think about Goku and Vegeta's training, their chores, them trying to treat and benefit freaking Beerus, Whis' training? How do you think they're going to become Super Saiyan Blues, their transformations, future speculations for upcoming episodes? What are your personal thoughts about us finally getting into the Resurrection F saga? What are your personal thoughts on Champa and Vados' first appearance? And what are your also personal thoughts on the future of the anime and how we're going to transition into the Universe 6 story arc? But that being said, comment below. Let me know what you personally think. Follow me on Twitter and Instagram at Josh12. Subscribe to my channel if you haven't done so already. And I hope you guys enjoyed, and this has been Josh12.